are live
What's
on the
up?
Howdy Podcast with Terrence Wong. How you
What's
doing,
up?
Terrence?
I'm good. Yeah, I mean, you spoke to me, just at the right time when work is all settled. But I mean, because if you were to ask me to be in a podcast last month, I might not be able to make that time.
Yeah,
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 I
for
was
sure, man.
was
Well, I
very caught up with work.
appreciate you taking the time to hop on. I wish we could have flown you in, man. Where are you at right now?
I'm on my bedroom, man.
Well, I'm talking about in
And,
the world, Terrence. In the
oh,
world.
I'm in Malaysia. So this is, I mean, to put it in context for our viewers, Malaysia is like kind of 14 hours time difference. So
14
yeah, I
hours.
mean,
So what time is it for you right now? It's 10:43 a.m.
yeah,
Texas time.
it's 11:43. It's like 15 minutes to midnight in my place. So yeah, it's the other part of the world.
Dang. You're a party animal, Terrence, staying up so late.
I'm just I work better at night when
Oh yeah.
everything dies down because I don't know, I'm just not a morning person.
Yeah. So
Hmm.
to give everybody a little bit of background on how I even know Terrence, Terrence went to Hardin Simmons University. What years were you there?
I was there from 2021 all the way to the end of 2022.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
So we ended up being roommates in an apartment together. Terrence
yeah.
moved in. We got to know each other a little bit. Super cool guy. Yeah. So you mentioned work a while ago. Kind of. What do you do for a living over there in Malaysia?
Uh, so for the moment, I'm working in a an agribusiness company. So it's kind of like the Cargill Boon, is that ADM? Yeah, Archer Daniel Midlands. So it's kind of like those agriculture trading companies. So we do poultry trading and stuff, but I'm in charge of the investor relations. So I deal a lot with fund managers and the press. So it's a lot of writing.
So
Yeah,
you
it's
do a lot of writing. Now, what was your degree in from Hardin Simmons?
economics and management.
So have you used much of those skills? Like, do you find yourself writing more than doing more number stuff?
Mm, yeah, I'm still dealing a lot with numbers, but sad to say, I probably only using like 20% or 30%, kind of like the
Yeah.
stuff that we learned. So
So
I threw like, I remember we took a class with Professor Gao on exchange rate and stuff. I think I threw that out of the window already. It's kind of, I
that,
can't even remember a thing from the class now.
yeah, sometimes that's the case, and especially, I mean, I got a finance degree, so we took a lot of the same classes, but
Mm.
I decided to open up a business, and I didn't really know what I was doing, so I've been learning along the way, and I've learned a lot, and I learned a lot at Hardin Simmons too. But if I was going to be a banker or something, I mean, it would have
Mm.
helped me way more. But I didn't really want to do that. So here I am, man, talking to Terrence Wong in Malaysia at 10:46 a.m. Central Standard Time.
Yeah, but it's cool stuff, man, Darren. I really appreciate your courage and I heads up on your effort, man. It's like I
Thanks,
think
man.
it takes a lot of effort to kind of like, jump, to be different from the ordinary. It's like everyone just take that route where, it's just every day, it's like just business as usual, after graduating, just go into a job and stuff. But oh man, Devin, you're doing cool stuff.
Thanks, man. I always see you posting and liking or commenting and
Yeah,
liking on all my stuff, so I appreciate it.
yeah.
I was like, man, I need to
Because
have that guy on.
yeah, imagine 10 years from now, you be like that million subscriber podcaster, and I would be like, I'm glad I was part of this game, part of this program.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, hopefully we
Yeah.
hit 1 million one day, but we'll see.
Mm.
We shall see. I think I heard a stat the other day. It's like only the top 1% hit 20 episodes of their podcast.
Oh, wow.
Like, oh, like 99% of everybody else stops before they hit 20 episodes. And I think
Mm.
that's like the biggest difference. But do you listen to podcasts a lot?
Yeah, quite a bit because the church that I attend to, so one of the worship leaders does a podcast with his dad, who happens to be a corporate guy. So he shares a lot of those wisdom and stuff. So yeah, I'm quite on quite a bit of podcasts. And then of course the podcast that you had with Jackson and all of friends, man. I mean, I
I
mean,
know.
see, imagine, it's a bit surreal. It's like seeing all our friends on a podcast, and then it's just so funny seeing them sometimes being a bit awkward. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of how I started the episodes at first, was to kind of be like awkwardly funny, but
Mm,
I don't know. I feel like it's called the Howdy Podcast, which doesn't make it like one route that I can go. Like I can pretty much do it over like an episode over anything. So I've done
mm,
episodes over like social media. I've done episodes over interviewing a coffee truck, espresso. Shout out espresso.
wow.
Um, yeah, a barber. Like it's just cool. And now you like we're. I don't even know. I had no plans to talk about anything specific, but I just wanted to see what you're up to, man. I know a lot of cool people, and yeah, it's been a while since we got to talk.
Yeah, and I mean that's good effort, man. I mean I like podcasts that it's like it's all kind of varieties. It's not just business focus or sports focus. It's everywhere. So
Yeah,
we get to see like different shades of everything, and that's cool.
yeah, exactly. So, are you pretty involved at the church you were talking about?
Kind of like I go there for Sunday services and stuff. So yeah, but I mean because of work commitments and also I didn't really sign up to serve on anything just yet.
Got it. Got
Yeah.
it. Yeah, Terrence is a great drummer. If you
Oh
didn't
man,
know, if you don't know who Terrence is, yeah, he's a drummer. Kills it.
still have a lot to
Uh,
learn.
have you done much drumming since you moved back to Malaysia?
Uh, yeah, unfortunately, no. So I've been doing a bit of cajon here and
Oh
there.
yeah,
Yeah, but drums, it kind of depends on the platform. So far I haven't get on any platform where I'm able to kind of practice the
yeah.
drums and stuff. But yeah, I so shout out to Darren as a one of the best MDs that I ever had. Yeah, because I remember myself as the guy that always goes off click. That's bad.
Oh my gosh, we didn't get to play together a ton.
Yeah, it's only that one semester that we really played quite a bit, and then I think the other semester you kind of I think you took a break right from the worship team
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
during the
I think
yeah
my last semester I took a job at our church and I started working there.
yes
And I'm still working there part
mm,
time, but I do this as another fun thing to do.
yeah it's like a side hustle.
Yeah, you were there. Were you there whenever we bought the first drone?
Oh yeah, I think it took some time for the drum to arrive because I remember Tiffany was like saying the drum got stuck in the port or something or some
Oh
cargo
yeah,
in
okay.
Europe.
There's that too. Yes, I
Yeah.
was thinking of whenever we got me and Braden ordered that drone that flies.
Oh, okay, the drone. Yeah, yeah, I was there.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Terrence was watching the very, very beginnings of this whole thing unfold. We just ordered a camera, ordered, or no, we didn't even order. We found a drone on Facebook Marketplace. And I remember you walking in, you're like, hey, that's a nice camera. I was like, thanks.
Yeah.
I just spent my whole life savings on it and went into debt. So,
Man, I didn't expect that to go so far. Good job,
dude,
man, bro.
thanks, man. Thanks. Yeah, I
Yeah.
still have that camera. I still use it all the time. I have more cameras now, but
Wow.
That one camera and that one drone allowed me to kind of get everything started.
Mm.
So, have you ever flown any drones or anything? Is that a big thing in Malaysia?
Oh yeah, we we have quite a bit of hobbies. People use drones here for many functions. Like uh, my friend. So I have a friend from church that I know that does he does uh he works as a wedding photographer full time. Yeah, that's kind of his full time
Yeah,
passion and profession. So he invested in the drone as well. So it's very cool because you get to do like those aerial shots and then the zoom
yeah,
in and zoom out stuff. So wow. And
yeah,
then
yeah,
yeah, of course we have like I subscribe to a property realtor like YouTuber and stuff. So they do use drones for all these kind of shots on
yeah.
on the property that they are selling and stuff. So it's very cool.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, that's a lot of what we do. We started in real estate. We're hopefully fixing to venture off into like oil and gas industry, doing
Whoa.
inspections with like thermal cameras and lidar sensors and all that. But and wind turbines too. We're I'm wanting to get into the wind turbine industry, doing inspections for those. But there's tons of things you can. If you don't have a drone license and you're listening to this and you've been thinking about it, just do it.
Yeah,
Like,
bro, you kind of inspired me as well because I'm also, I mean, to put it in context, I'm also, I just recently took up a realtor's license. So
okay, nice.
yeah, I'm doing that as a side hustle now as a part time real estate agent. So my goal is also to save up. I mean, I kind of like uh make a fun pledge with my friend. Like once we get our first commission or something, we're going to invest in a drone.
Yeah, dude. Heck
Yeah,
yeah.
because having a
Just
drone is just so cool. There's a lot of stuff that you could do with that.
yeah, and I don't know the rules in Malaysia, but it's not crazy hard to get it in America.
Mm.
Um, it took me 2 weeks, and that's why I was in school still. So I've had friends who did it in a day. Like, it's not crazy hard. You just got to take the test,
Ooh,
know how to
a
read all
day.
the
Wow.
maps and stuff. But
Oh,
yeah, but yeah, man. We use drones a lot, especially for social media stuff. Do y'all? How is social media? Because you lived in America for a couple years. Um,
yeah.
do you say Malaysia uses social media more
Oh
or
man,
about the same?
I think I'm not sure if you have seen the stats on Google or somewhere, but I think Malaysia is kind of like the top 10 in the world.
So when you
Uh,
say top 10, is that like use?
Face Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, you name it. Yeah, we use it. Like people here is crazy. Yeah,
So
the
like the
it's
the number of
everyone is on social
users?
media. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. Do you have all the social media channels?
I am hooked on TikTok quite recently. It's just so addictive. It's just like views after views after videos, and then sometimes like you get good stuff on it, like podcasts and stuff. And then
Yeah,
there's Christian podcasts and stuff. So I wouldn't say that it's just all mindless stuff on TikTok, but there are good stuff there
yeah,
worth watching.
yeah. So what kind of stuff pops up on your feed most of the time?
Uh, Quite a bit of sometimes like those meme videos and then sometimes we have like business stuff because I think it's kind of like the algorithm that that call up on me. So sometimes if I stop a lot on business stuff or like recently I do a lot of like stop a lot on like sermons and stuff. So like
Hmm.
it kind of like it will kind of the algorithm will work in a way that it kind of pops up a lot of similar stuff for me to view. So yeah.
Yeah, the algorithm has you figured
Mm,
out pretty good.
mm, exactly.
Yeah, that's one thing we have to research all the time. Is the algorithm and how to catch people's attention. And
Mm.
so seems like it's the same exact situation no matter where you're at in the world. It's like People want to be entertained. People want to learn, um, and that's why they get on social media. So, do you watch a lot of YouTube?
YouTube, yes, but I think lately not so much because YouTube is kind of long.
Yeah.
So sometimes um I'm a kind of person where I think if I want to watch YouTube, like let's say for a 1 hour long business interview or sermon and stuff, I need to really like sit down and devote that time to do it. Because whereas TikTok I could do it anywhere, like like even in my office. So sometimes if I uh, excuse myself to the toilet for to do my stuff, so
Yeah.
yeah, so I could just scroll. Yeah.
So, do you get on TikTok a lot at work, Terrence?
uh Not really.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Good answer.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
answer.
Yeah, I need to be safe just in case my boss is on TikTok or Instagram.
Yeah, that's we had that podcast with Jackson like probably a couple months ago, honestly, at this point. And he knew it was going online. He knew we were posting it, but he said some stuff and he's like, "Man, I don't know. Maybe I need to take it down so my boss doesn't see it." Cuz he works in a school with
Oh
elementary kids.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, fun times. But yeah, so do you do any tutoring anymore? I remember you used to do that while you were here.
Oh yes, I do, but I cut it down quite a bit because I think corporate job is just not so easy like studying HSU anymore. So it's kind of like it's very exhausting. So I kind of like I want my weekends to be chill. So I only take on one tutoring job on a Sunday afternoon. So that's about it.
Got it. Okay. So kind of what do
Yeah.
you teach?
Mainly, so primarily STEM subjects. Like
Okay.
I taught them. So like the current kid that I'm tutoring, I do math and a little bit of science with him.
Okay,
Yeah.
heck yeah. Is that a pretty good paying gig,
Mm,
tutoring?
yeah, it's kind of cool. Like I get paid.
Good.
I mean, if I convert
You
it
don't have
to
to say
US
how
dollar,
much, but you don't have to say how much, but it's
uh,
pretty good. Good
yeah, I
little
mean
extra amount.
it's decent. It's decent side hustle. So
Heck
yeah.
yeah, dude. Yeah. I know that's I could never do it, but I know some people who do tutoring and they make a good amount here. So
Okay.
heck yeah, man. So what does like a regular week look like for you? Like I know you go to work. Like what time do you go to work? 8 o'clock to 4 o'clock, or how does that work?
9 to 6.
Nine to
So
six.
yeah, 9 to 6. So it's a typical 9 to 5 job. So I clock in at
Well,
about
9 to 6.
9. Yeah, and then I get off about at 6. But uh you know the thing that I really appreciate most is that my boss allowed us, because we are a small team. So investor relations, there's only like 3 to 4 of us. So recently, like beginning of like last month, my boss allowed us to be flexible. So now we adopt like a 3 days work week. So Monday to Wednesday, I mean for me, it's subject to change. So Monday to Wednesday, I'll be in office, and Thursday and Friday, I can choose to work from home.
Got it. It's like a hybrid thing.
Yeah, and
Is that
I think
happening
it's
a lot
cool.
over there?
I think it's still taking a bit of mindset shift, but I would see that a lot of companies are starting to kind of adopt that, because I mean we have a lot of Gen Zs and Gen Ys. I mean, if they don't do that, people are not going to kind of like be motivated to apply to the company. So I
Yeah.
think they are kind of like, yeah, they kind of like, okay, we kind of need to start adopting this, work habit or works, mindset shift in workplace for the bosses
Yeah.
as well. So because if they don't do that, then people are not coming in.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we have kind of having I mean I heard from friends who are bosses, they kind of having hiring crunch as well. I mean, because it's hard to hire people that I mean fresh grads and all, because they have so many options nowadays. Like they could, I mean, a lot of people in my country also wants to be an influencer. So people kind of
I
like
think
start
that's
their own
everywhere in the
podcast,
world.
YouTuber. Yeah, there's a
I
lot
think
of
that's
gigs
yeah,
that they could do.
yeah. The influencer marketing um economic factor. It's like growing by billions every year. And so
Oh,
I get it why people want to do it, but at the same time, it's like it's really not as easy as people think. And I'm not an influencer by any means, but I try to post at least once a day, and the amount of work that goes into that is like crazy, especially if you want it to be good stuff. Um, Podcasts definitely help, which is one of the reasons I started the studio, is because podcasts you can sit down. For example, if we sit down for an hour, like you straight up, you can put this link to this video into an AI editor and get like 30 clips of good reels that you can use for content for like the next month or whatever, the next couple weeks. And so by doing this one podcast, we have a long form piece of content as well as like 20 short form pieces of content. So that's really why I started podcasting and I became a fan, was because there's nothing else that you can film that has that much like return as far as your time goes. So we're sitting
yeah.
down for an hour and we'll get like tons of content, even just out of one conversation like this. So do y'all do a lot of, I guess, is there a lot of, is there any digital marketing agencies close to where you live, or is it,
Oh yeah, yeah. There's tons. There's tons. That I think it's
okay.
catching on fire. And I mean, like Darren, you said that podcast is something that is the return is huge. And I mean, I think it's kind of like a revelation to me as well, because I've seen a lot of YouTubers that I know in my country. They are moving into this podcast scene as well. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I kind of love it, because I think podcast allows us to be authentic and real. It's like there's no fluff. It's like, you know, what you see is what you get, and I
It's
really love
straight up,
that.
yeah. So you can
Yeah.
have an hour-long conversation. You feel like you get to know those people,
Mm.
the host or the guest, whatever. You also get exposed to other people's audience whenever you go on their show. So like everybody who sees my stuff, they're gonna know who you are now. And what are the odds of after listening to you talk for an hour that they're gonna go follow you? They're way higher than just seeing a 5 second clip of like, yeah. Anyways, long form builds that trust. It has more of an authentic feel, like you said, and it lets them get to know you because it takes like, I think it's like 7 hours of somebody watching you online before they trust you enough to buy
Mm.
something from you. So, like, for example, if I had a course or something and they
Mm.
watched 7 of my podcasts, it'd probably take them about 7 episodes before they're like, okay, I'm willing to spend money because this guy sounds like he knows what he's talking about. So that's like a huge thing, especially whenever you're starting a business with some sort of service or product. It's just like building that trust. And long form content is definitely the way to do that the quickest. And also that retention, YouTube feeds that like if you have good retention on your videos and good watch time, they'll push your videos even more because it's like, okay, people are watching all the way through. This must be really good. So they'll keep pushing it to the recommended section and like for you stuff. So it's just good all the way around. It's way more time efficient and builds way more trust than just regular short form content. So that's why I'm a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah. Got to
But
agree with it, man. I mean, because podcast is also, I recently get hooked to quite a bit of podcasts as well, because I feel that um it's refreshing. I mean, it's people are more authentic, and it's, you know, it's just not like those YouTube videos where people are just all out doing all kind of stuff to generate attention. So it
yeah,
doesn't feel real.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So at your company, and you don't have to like name your company or anything, but Do you see a lot of use of social media for y'all and y'all's like sales or getting new clients or anything?
Mm, unfortunately, it's a bit more.
Do y'all
Uh,
even need to? Because some companies are already well established and they don't really need to push hard in social media.
e- I think because of the nature of the business that we are in, it's a bit more traditional. So we directly deal with B2B. So we sell to hypermarkets like like Tesco and kind of like similar Walmart similar kind of
Got it. Yeah.
hypermarket. So, but I know that a subsidiary of my the company that I'm working in now that does bakery stuff. So they are on TikTok, and I think it's like it just so happened that one of the videos that a TikToker kind of like promoted our bakery, and I think it caught on fire or something, and then it kind of like increased the sales. I mean that was a
Yeah.
surprise for my boss as well because we didn't expect like the power of social media to be that crazy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. There's an example of a company here in town, actually.
Mm,
Um, they make a protein drink. Um, but yeah, they said there was an influencer at one of the big nutrition like bodybuilding conferences, and they said yeah he has like a million followers probably on TikTok and Instagram, and he just posted one video of like, hey, y'all have got to try this drink, it's amazing. And they said their sales like went up by 1,000% in like 12 hours, and they had like a record breaking day just from one video. They didn't know he was posting it. They didn't pay him to post it. He just enjoyed the product, posted it,
wow, one
and
thousand percent. That's crazy. That's
it,
insane.
it was honestly probably, yeah,
And
it was
and,
probably
and
around
and
that.
and it wasn't sponsored content, right? It was just random. Like the guy just kind of
Exactly.
like enjoyed the drink, and it's like, okay, I figure like I think I want to share this with the rest of the world.
Exactly. And he just so happened to have
Oh,
lots of
wow.
following, and they got tons of orders that night. They came back to the office that next day. They were like, holy moly, we have like lots of orders we got to fulfill. So it's huge, man, and that's why I'm such an advocate of it, and that's why we help people, like especially local businesses who like don't have massive budgets to hire like an internal marketing person or something. I think this is the greatest alternative you could ask for. So
Yeah, and I think it's kind of like I think it's the cheapest as well. I mean, if you get the matrix right, and your
yeah,
product is real good, yeah,
yeah, and so
your
the reason
ROI
we
is
can
crazy.
do that, the reason we can do that is because we're not confined to one company. Like we can work with multiple clients, build up a clientele, build up a team, and we're able to scale in that way instead of being like, okay, I'm just the marketing person for one company. They need to pay me $8,000 to $10,000 a month to be the marketing person.
Mm,
Whenever you could work with us, pay anywhere from $500 to $3,000 a month and get just as good, if not better, content. We have access to like cameras, equipment, the studio. Now, one of the things we offer to our clients now is access to the studio. They can come and use it basically whenever they want, just how we're using it. If they want to do a podcast here, they can come do a podcast here. They can do lots of things. We filmed a bunch of YouTube videos. Last week, we filmed like 10 YouTube videos in like one day. Like it was, now we got to go edit it and we distribute it for them. So it's a lot of work on our end, but it's easy for them.
mm.
So it's been cool. Yeah. It
Wow,
looks a little
yeah,
bit different than ever when we first started. Whenever you saw it, because we got the drone and the camera specifically to do real estate stuff. Because I mean, we still do real estate stuff, but there's lots of other avenues and
yeah.
branches that we've started because I don't want to have be. It's just like investing, and you know this, like taking the investing classes. Like you don't want to put all your eggs in
In
one
one
basket.
basket. Yeah, it's kind of
So
evolved since then. You kind of like diversified.
exactly, and so like if we have multiple clients in different areas of the business, if one of the areas of the business goes down, we still have two other areas that can hold us up for a little bit. So,
Yeah,
anyways,
cool stuff,
good
man.
stuff. Good
Yeah,
stuff.
I
What
really
would
love
you?
love what you're doing. So
Thanks, man. Are you coming back to the states anytime soon?
hopefully, I mean, my plan is to within probably 1 or 2 years. I'm still not sure how things are going on, but I really want to come back for postgraduate, maybe a
Yeah,
master's or a PhD. But yeah, I need scholarships, man. Because
dude, I feel that.
yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. But I mean, I talked to friends who does postgrad in the US. That people are telling me like, like nah, no, nobody's gonna pay for a PhD in the US. I mean, if you apply and you are good enough, you should get sponsored.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
So do they?
I'm working towards that.
So are there any post grad programs where you're at?
Uh, I mean, you mean anything that is I'm looking at or aiming for, or is
Yeah,
that what you
just
mean?
like in Malaysia, is there an option for you to get a post grad degree over there
Um,
where you're at?
yeah. There's masters in the field that I wanted to study in, but I'm looking at the idea of. I mean, at the end of the day, my desire or my end game is I still wanted to end back up in the states again for
Okay,
PhD.
so do you want to
So
stay here long term, or are you just coming for school and wanting to go back to Malaysia? Because I know you got family over
Uh,
there.
this time round, probably I'm trying for the long shot. I mean, if I could get a PhD and become a professor, why not? I would
Hey, there you
yeah
go.
stay.
Hey, there's
Yeah,
lots of
and,
universities in Abilene, man.
and Texas is a beautiful town, beautiful state, and I mean, like even in Abilene, it's beautiful, man.
Yeah, yeah, that's it is it is pretty out here, and I grew up like further west, and it's just dirt, which is not that's pretty, but and then I don't, did you ever? I guess you got to hang out in DFW area, right? Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah, DFW is kind of like I like the vibe, but it's kind of downtown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, it's
but
very city.
I think it's very different. I mean, every town has its good and bad, but it's just so different from where I am now.
How many people live where you're at?
So my town has like I think it has grown since then, but I knew it's about 5 million.
Five
Yeah,
million.
yeah, it's a lot.
You are in the city, my friend.
Oh yeah, this is like the downtown. It's the town that I'm living in now is kind of like the metroplex. It's just huge.
Yeah. So are you in like a suburb or are you downtown, like
Yeah.
in the midst?
I mean like I'm in like the satellite town of the capital. So it's kind of like the how I put it. I would say like this is like the Arlington or Fort Worth. It's not really
Oh,
like the
okay.
Dallas yet. Yeah. So it's kind of like a it's in town, but we are not really in the town itself.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. Dang, man. Yeah, it's been a while since you've been here.
Yeah.
Well, where can people find you at on social media? I always like to
Uh,
shout my guests out. Do you even want them to follow you?
sure. I mean, I'm on Instagram as well. You could just hit me up at Terry LOK T. So that would be TERRYLOK 7. So
Okay.
yeah, so you could hit me up.
Terry Locke.
The
Is that
7.
what it is?
Yeah. So
So what's
that's my username on Instagram.
okay. So what is Locke? Is that like part of your middle
Oh,
name or
that's
something?
part of my Chinese name. That's
What is
my
that?
last name. Um, it's just a Chinese name, but I mean literal translation into Mandarin and Chinese, it means happiness,
Hey,
joy.
how do you say it?
So in Mandarin is le, is you pronounce it as 快乐. So 快乐 means happiness.
Got it.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Yeah, you blew my mind one night whenever you started translating Mandarin into English, like right there on
Oh,
the spot. Do you
oh, I
remember
did.
that?
I mean, did we had like this conversation about Mandarin in English? I remember we had something like similar of that nature with Jackson, and I knew he was blown away.
I was there with y'all, and we gave Terrence like I don't even remember just this article in Mandarin, and we were like, "Can you translate this?"
Oh yeah,
And
yeah, yeah,
you were
yeah. I
reading it,
started
and
translating. Yeah.
you were reading it in Mandarin and saying it in English. I was like, "Whoa!" Which obviously I only know English, so it's gonna blow my mind. But
Yeah, dang, I remember it now. I mean, I remember it was a session at the couch or something. And
yep,
then I think I was translating stuff, and you were blowing our minds off with a John Mayer solo or something.
uh, that's not
On,
near
on
as cool, Terrence. I'm telling you right now, it does not take near as long to learn a John Mayer riff as it does to learn Mandarin and
but you
English.
you
What?
did it on that pad. I remember, was it a Helio pad or something?
Oh, Helix. Yep.
Yeah, that was so cool. I love that pad. It's
How
the
many
effects.
language? How many languages can you speak?
Um, so in in my part of the world, we have something called a dialect. So dialect is like is eccentric to your kind of like your race or something
Yeah,
or
yeah, yeah.
like it's like the area that you belong to. Like so because like Chinese, like for us, we kind of like we are migrants too that came from China to Malaysia. So different parts of China, they have their own kind of like local language.
Okay,
So
yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's
so
how like the German language is too. There's like High German, Low German,
yeah, so
based
it's
off of
kind
where
of
they're from.
like probably if you hear Texas or Texans speaking English, it's kind of different from maybe people in Montana or South Dakota. It's
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Yeah. So for me, I could speak like, so there's English, there's Malay, Chinese, Cantonese, Hokkien. I speak like five, and yeah, five
Sheesh, dude.
languages. Yeah,
And how did you learn all of them?
I think it's just naturally like speaking with, because
Just
my
living
mom,
there?
yeah, kind of living there and then just picking up along the way. But I would have to admit my mother tongue, like the local language, like the Hakka, the Cantonese, or even the Hokkien, like these three, like kind of like not my native tongue
Yeah.
languages. I'm not that good at it. I
Oh,
could understand what people are speaking, and I could speak kind of a little bit, but mainly I only use that when I really need to.
yeah. Do you
Yeah.
speak a lot of English while you're over there in Malaysia,
Oh yeah,
or do
yeah.
you
English is my first language
got it?
technically.
Okay. Is
Mm.
that the main language of Malaysia, or what's the main language?
Our main language is Bahasa. So we have
Okay,
like a national language, kind of like Mexico with
got it.
Mexican language, and Spain with Spanish. But
Yeah.
yeah.
Heck yeah, dude. Well, are you going to sleep anytime soon? I know it's like what is it, almost 1 a.m. over there?
It's kind of it's 12:30 now.
Sheesh, man. Sheesh. So what do you do when you stay up? You just hang out, listen to music, or what?
Uh, do all kinds. Like I sometimes I catch up with a bit of work like my side hustle stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then just do a bit of reading and stuff, and yeah, but
Do
yeah,
you ever do any like stock trading or anything, or like have you bought any Bitcoin or crypto?
no, not at the moment, because I when I start looking at Bitcoin, it's kind of like very very expensive now.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
And
just 2x.
and you don't really know what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I kind of like missed the boat, man. I mean, when I look at it, I'm like, jeez, it's like 60 grand for a
Yeah.
Bitcoin.
So
Oh,
are you more like a safe investment guy, or like you like to make risky investments?
I think I'm a bit of both. So I would take calculated risk. So as long as I'm okay with it, like, but because I kind of judge by if I take a risk that would put me into multiple sleepless nights or something, then I wouldn't take that risk.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. Well, sweet. Well, I think we can wrap it up here. We're about 41 minutes in. Terrence, thanks for joining the Howdy podcast. It was good talking to you. Hopefully, somebody kind of learned something today. That's my main goal, is to have somebody learn something every time they watch. So, yeah, be watching for this. I think this episode's going to come out either tomorrow or Wednesday. So which will be, yeah, if you're watching this, that we're talking about in the past. So, but yeah,
Wow.
man, you have any last words or advice to give to the audience before we get off the call?
Uh, Thanks for having me, man, Darren. I really
Yeah, no
appreciate it.
problem.
Yeah, and I think it's last word advice. I mean, I probably just want to shout out to everyone to, like, just pursue your dreams. I mean, just do like what Darren is doing. I mean, yeah, it's like, I think it's this man has just so much of courage. I'm like kind of like, oof, I wish I had that courage to do what he's doing. So I
Oh
mean,
my god.
because I think life is all about just taking chances sometimes.
Heck
It
yeah,
doesn't
man.
matter. It doesn't matter if you fail or what, but if you never try, it's definitely 100%. It will not happen. Yeah.
Heck
So
yeah, man.
sometimes just take the plunge, man.
Take the plunge, take a leap of
Yeah.
faith, be obedient to
Yeah.
the Lord. You'll be
Mm-hmm.
good, dude. You'll be
Yeah,
good.
and just don't be disheartened if you fail. I think it's just. I think everything happens for a reason, and if it fails, just reflect upon it, and just pick it up from there. Yeah.
Amen, dude. You're gonna be a great dad. Are you? You having kids
No.
anytime soon?
No.
You have a woman over there?
No. Still single, man.
Dang. Well, I'll be on the lookout. I'll be on the lookout for you over here if you ever move back. Heck yeah, man. Well, sounds good. Well, you go. I guess hang out, get some rest for your. Do you have work tomorrow?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Heck yeah, man. We'll go get some rest. Appreciate you being on the call. Yeah, you have a good one, Terrence.
Yeah. Thanks, Darren. I'm looking forward to be back in the States, man. Maybe
Heck
the
yeah.
next time round when I'm back from post grad, I would, yeah, I would figure a way out to go up to Abilene.
Whenever you're
Yeah, we
back,
have
we'll
we have a
be.
second round.
Well, second round right here in the studio, right where I'm
Yeah,
sitting,
man.
bro.
Yep.
You'll be good. All right, man. You have a good one.
All right.